Hey everyone, Derek from AZ Moto Adventure here, and today's a big day because today we're picking up Katsumi. So, for those of you that don't know, Katsumi was a bike built on YouTube by MrDuhFactor. He built it for himself and his sons and tore it all the way down to the frame and rebuilt the motor in a very detailed series of about 40-45 videos on YouTube. Well, I had watched the whole series, and then MrDuhFactor, when he was done, sold the bike to a young lady named Molly, who then sold it to Everide, who some of you may know from his videos on YouTube as well. Now, Everide loved the bike, said he was never going to part with it, so I didn't think there was ever a chance of me getting a hold of it. Well, the other day I'm at the fire station, flipping through my Facebook posts from various adventure motorcycle clubs here in Arizona, and I see a post that says, "What's out there for under $2,000?" And I'm scrolling through it, and I see a picture of a bike, and I'm like, man, that bike looks familiar. And then I start reading the post, and I see the word Katsumi mentioned. So I tracked down the owner, a young man named Tai, and as it turns out, he had acquired the bike and was now looking to sell it. Well, I was not looking for a motorcycle. I have my 955 Tiger Adventure here that I love, and I've already got some projects with it, so I wasn't really looking to buy a bike, but the opportunity to maybe get Katsumi and get it in my garage and do some work on it, I couldn't pass that up. So I went and looked at it, and as soon as I saw it, I told Ty, hey, I can't front, I know all about this bike and I want it. Ty was good enough to hold it for me for $100, and after a week of laundering some money in my bank account and convincing the wife that this was a good idea, we're going to get it this morning. So, we're going to grab a cup of coffee and then head over to Ty's and pick up Katsumi. Alright, so picking up Katsumi today, finally, after a week. Ty was good enough to hold it for me for a week. That was the longest week of my life, waiting to get this thing home. So I just wanted to talk with Ty. How did you end up with Katsumi? How did you end up with this machine?
So I totally understand that week being the longest of your life. So Damon, MrDuhFactor, built it. Then he sold it to a friend, Molly, who eventually sold it to Tyler on Everide's channel.
Yep, and I remember watching it on Everide, and he said he was never going to sell it. In fact, he ended the video talking about never selling it, so I never thought there was a chance in hell I was ever going to get it.
So my family, my brothers, my dad, and I followed Everide for years and years. And we saw that he was doing rallies and that kind of stuff. And so for my dad's 50th, we were going to do the route, the AZ BDR from Mexico border to Utah border, all dirt roads.
Sure.
Planning didn't work out and everything, so we were like, oh, Everide's doing rallies. Let's do one of his rallies. So my dad, couple uncles, brother, and I, we all went up there and we rode. I rode a DRZ and a CRF 250 and that kind of stuff, and Tyler rode his DRZ, but we saw Katsumi in the garage. We ended up becoming decent family friends with Tyler, and my parents went up to visit them again and hang out, and so my dad gives me a call one night and says, hey, we were just hanging out in the jacuzzi, and Tyler is looking at a different bike project and a couple different things, and he's thinking about making room in his garage by selling Katsumi. So I immediately text Tyler, like, hey man, if you're thinking about it, I'm down for it.
Right.
Let's do it like a Band-Aid, just make it happen real quick. And so I waited for his response. He thought about it. I made sure, it'd stay in the family with people who would appreciate it and that kind of stuff. He got first right of buyback. He just bought a couple of bikes, so he couldn't do it. But he's excited to see it go to somebody else who understands and appreciates it, and will kind of respect that history. It's been a ton of fun, man.
Well, I believe things happen for a reason, and that's what's kind of cool about your story, where it just kind of fell into happening, and I'm the same way. I wasn't even looking for a dirt bike, and so when I saw your ad posting it on Arizona Adventure Riders, I was like, that looks like Katsumi, and so it just so happens. And then there's a couple other cool little connections. I know the second owner of the bike was a lady named Molly. My wife's name is Molly.
Oh, there you go.
And then the fact that you work on the ambulance and I work as a firefighter, I thought, well, that's pretty cool. We're kind of keeping it in the family as well. So, cool. Well, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Happy
I'm gonna
for
get
you.
her home and clean her up, and you'll hopefully see some videos of me tearing her back down in the next couple months. Alright, Katsumi's at her new house. Got her home. So, I'm actually a little disappointed that didn't run worse. I kind of wanted some more projects to deal with, but man, it is a torquey machine. I love the power band on it. I love the sound of it. The clutch is amazing. Even though when we do the walk around later, I'll show you, there's only about 2 fingers worth of clutch lever left. And but I remember MrDuhFactor had put 3 of the original clutch springs in that I believe are 25 pounds, and then 3 other Barnett, I believe they are, or Barrett. We'll figure that out later. Springs that I believe were 35 pounds. And man, the clutch is probably the nicest clutch that I've ridden on a bike in a long time. Started up from a dead cold, sitting in the garage overnight, and it started up first kick. I haven't quite got the magic touch yet that Ty did. He started her right up with the secret handshake, but it took me a couple tries, but I'll get there. Other than that, Katsumi, she's home.
That's good.
What do you think?
Looks good.
It's torquey, right?
Mm-hmm.
That front wheel wants to go skyward pretty easy. So, tell me what I just noticed when you got back from riding Katsumi.
I was doing
Huh?
some
What's
riding
that?
of my own earlier.
What's that on your neck? Come here, let me see it.
I was paintballing.
Yeah? Is that a paintball injury or a hickey?
Paintballing. I was mauled by a paintball bear.
Mauled by a 5'4" blonde paintballer?
Yep. Crazy.
Dipshit.
Came out of nowhere.
What is that?
What's that?
What is that?
That is a motorcycle I just bought.
What is that?
That is a motorcycle I already own.
And why do you need that?
Because that is an enduro bike that I can ride on the street and in the dirt.
And why do you need that?
That is an adventure motorcycle that I can also ride on the street and in the dirt.
That doesn't make sense. I don't understand
Why doesn't that make sense?
I don't know. It's just you have that one and that one. Why do you need 2? Wait.
Because maybe your big brother Logan will go for a ride with me on that while I ride that.
Now
So-
I'm thinking of the question, why do I have too many toys?
Oh, you're throwing that back in my face? You can never have too many toys, so don't listen to what I said about that. All right, Katsumi. Officially home. So we had a good time with her today, took her for some rides. She's running really good. We're pretty pleased. A few things we're gonna fix up and change, make her look pretty again. So in the next video, we'll do a walk around, talk about everything we're gonna tear down and rebuild and get her back to pristine condition. In the meantime, if you want to learn more about this bike, look up MrDuhFactor and Everide. I'll leave some links in the description below, and we will see you next time. Thanks for tuning in to Arizona Moto Adventure.